So almost all of the animals are put up. Two running kitties over there. Almost everybody. Charizard is in here. We were gonna make it so 4 emus are in there, but at the moment there is just 3. General is a little bit crazy. He was out here. Look at, he's in the middle of the woods. So he's still out until we can kind of get them to all get along, and then he'll be added in. But we've got all the livestock up and almost all the poultry. That way we can start turning all of this into Halloween Town, basically. Yeah. So here's the first load of things that are kind of more weather friendly. So we always kind of start with the graveyard because it's got everything that's more plastic and wood and able to be out here. So this will be the start of everything. We've got just a couple things out so far. I can't wait to see all of this turned into something more. We're leaving up the kids' cool little teepee they built. We're just going to incorporate that into one of the stations. And this actually is a different route than we did last year. We like to kind of change the trail up a little bit each year to make it a little different. I guess General thinks he's going to be on the trail this year. What's up, Jen? Last year, the trail did go around that way. We're actually going to have it go around this way and just have one of the stations be right here to kind of close off this. It'll come back around, but as you can see, other than the couple of things here, there's not anything up yet. So we've got just over a week to turn all of this into something spooktacular. Got this from a garage sale for like $1. We're gonna see if we can't spookify her to be our little gypsy. Some leftover paint, so I didn't even have any money in painting her. We're gonna go ahead and give her a good coat, and that way we can decide if we want her kind of skeleton-y or zombie-like. Haven't quite decided yet. So the paint's not sticking the best, but I kind of almost like how that looks. So we'll see how it is once she's dry. And then we'll use some acrylic paint to kind of stipple in some other colors in. And maybe we'll go with kind of a zombie, sickly, spooky gypsy girl. So the white spray paint didn't want to stick very good. It was pretty drippy, but I just kind of cut apart a sponge because I didn't have any sponge brushes, and I've been mixing green and white to give her kind of a cool skin coloring, and then I used kind of like the dark green to give her shading and did some really awful stitches there, and just been kind of adding some other colors in to emphasize things. I tried to kind of mimic maybe some shadowing, like she was super bony. You can see that I gave her some golden nails, and I tried to kind of put brown around the edges, almost like they were gross, rotty nails. And I'm starting to do her top. As you can see, just nothing wants to stick to this. So this has all been like layers. And then I can see where I need to kind of go back in and sponge even more here. I'll probably do like some dark green around the lips and everything. I've kind of had the girl from Beetlejuice in mind as inspiration. So I'm going to have to see if my daughter has any more of that red hairspray, or maybe I'll do another color of hairspray in her hair to kind of spookify her even more. But I think she's going to be a great gypsy lady. I just kind of want her basically sitting at a table like this with a little crystal ball in between her. I think she's looking pretty cool for something that we got at a garage sale for like $1 or $2. And then I've just been literally using leftover paints and kitchen things. So there she is, finished product. I might spray her hair a different color, but other than that, I think she looks perfect and creepy and cool, and she's gonna be a great little zombie gypsy for our circus tent. Love her. So perfectly rotten.
We're out here getting ready for the Halloween trick-or-treat trail. Decorating the woods. I'm gonna just kind of walk through real quick and show you guys what we've been working on. But we're a week away, so we're just kind of decorating with things that can withstand, you know, the weather. If we were to have some wind or rain come through, you know, it's not gonna ruin anything. But this is gonna be like the first section right through here. It's gonna be like our Harry Potter section, so we'll have like a whole Harry Potter area set up with a spider and a dragon, and this is going to be kind of like the entrance way. The first setup, actually, like the first station will be started over there, and we'll work our way around. So we'll have to kind of like put up some barriers and some cloth and stuff to kind of guide people in. We got a lot of work to do to kind of line the trails up a little bit better, make sure no one's going to trip on anything. This is going to be like a little vampire area. We got an old casket here, and there's going to be a really cool vampire animatronic right here. And we brought some rubber bats out. We'll probably dangle them around. And then this will lead into the circus. And Logan right now is putting together the gypsy tent. We're gonna have like almost like a gypsy kind of yurt thing going on here. And people will walk in here, and there'll be some really cool lighting, and we're gonna have like a table set up with the fortune teller. And then out here we're just gonna have like a scene of a bunch of crazy clowns kind of just going crazy, like some clown mayhem. Everybody's creeped out by clowns, so that will be like our little clown setup right in here. And then right as you leave the gypsy tent, we're going to be going into like a witch area. So there'll be an animatronic witch here, and she'll be like brewing something in her pot, you know, and there'll be like a couple cats with her and stuff like that. And then this will be like a zombie area here. We're going to have some zombie guys. There'll be like kind of like an apocalypse sort of setup right in here. You can see the trail needs some work. There's some big divots here. This is like an old fox den, so we're gonna have to kind of level this back out. And then this, we got a really good deal on an animatronic that we didn't expect to get, so we're gonna have him all set up. This will be like sort of like the Gourd King area, or like the Gourd Salesman area. You'll know when we get it all set up. It'll make sense to you. And then it will lead into the graveyard, which is sort of like the ending of the trick-or-treat trail. So we want to kind of go all out with the graveyard. We're going to have all these tombstones all set up, as you can see. And we're going to have a Sally and a Jack. And they both go off and kind of do music and stuff. And they're going to have like their own little scene each. There'll also be a really creepy dude right here. Just as you're exiting, he's going to kind of jump out at you. I don't even really know what he is. He's just like this phantom looking dude. He's really creepy. And then it'll be, yeah, Sally and then Jack. And Jack's got a 0 with him this year. And then just as you're leaving, the last one will be the Plague Doctor. He'll be set up here, sort of have his little clinic kind of going on here. But yeah, we got a lot of work to do. We're still a week away, so right now we're just kind of doing some stuff that we can do that's weather friendly. We might string some lights and stuff like that. We got all the animals are all put away except for a couple emus and a few loose birds, but I mean they're harmless. They won't hurt anything. But yeah, as you can see, the weather's been beautiful. Beautiful. There's not a single cloud, and look at that. Look at the skies. Yeah, it's been perfect. So we've been able to get some things set up. Got all the animals put away. We're kind of organizing. But yeah, once we get like everything sort of set up, we'll do a really good walkthrough for you guys so you can see how it all turned out. But yeah, we're hoping the kids have a lot of fun. We're expecting a lot of kids to show up this year. And my wife Logan, she's been loading up on candy. So she just got a mountain of candy waiting for these kids to show up. There'll be 13 stations altogether. And I mean, not each station will have the candy. There'll be like, you know, there is some other cool stuff too. But yeah, and then we'll have some games set up and, you know, some snacks. And yeah, it'll be a fun time. And what's cool is, as you can see, you know, a lot of the trail, our animal enclosures are sort of incorporated into it. So sort of like a Zubu style, you know, as you walk in, we're going to have like a really cool Halloween setup entranceway area. And, you know, if people show up early in the day, you know, it's still bright outside. All the animals are still nice awake. Yeah, you can see the gate all the way up there. We'll have like a really cool setup up there too. You know, I think it's gonna have an animatronic too. And then down at the apple tree right down there where Teddy's hanging out, we're gonna have a really big headless horseman animatronic. So it's really the whole farm this year is gonna sort of be decorated out. There'll be games up in here and a snack tent. So, and there'll be a bonfire area right up in here. So it will be like a, you know, sort of like a Zubu thing going on. You'll be able to hang out with the animals. You guys are hanging out today. But yeah, if kids show up early, you know, if some people get here during the day, that way it's not so scary, you know. And then you can get more of the animal side of it. But we're going to go until 9 o'clock. So it will be really dark out. It gets dark at like 8 o'clock now, 7:30. And yeah, so the second half of the party will be kind of spooky. You know, the animals will sort of be sleeping by that time. Yeah, we like to set it up that way. If people have, you know, some really young children, they don't want to get too spooked out, because some of the animatronics are a little creepy. Like, I believe right about now is when the party would really be starting. So you can see everybody's still wide awake. I'm sort of debating on what I should do with Wu-Tang. You guys know, if you watch our channel, he's got a bit of an attitude, and I'd hate for, you know, a kid to get hit or something as he's walking by, or like trying to pet him through the fence. And he is right up on the cemetery. So I'm wondering, I might temporarily move him. You know what I'm talking about, you? I might temporarily move him to a new enclosure. I don't know. I mean, the first 2 years, he was part of it, you know. We sort of told people to stay back, and we put up a bunch of caution tape and stuff to let people know. But I think we're getting quite a few more people that come in this year. I just, like, you look at that. Look at that. You know, if you had a finger up in there, you could break your finger doing that. So, yeah, I'm kind of wondering what to do with him. I think you need to calm down a little bit, okay? Stop showing off. Get to hang out with your girlfriends here pretty soon. Everything will be okay. Let's go see how this tent's looking. I'm most excited about this, I think, because this is sort of new. I mean, besides all the new animatronics. We just sort of we're hoping we have enough cloth to sort of just drape all over it. You know how they are, those old fortune teller tents. They just had cloth on top of cloth on top of cloth, you know, and it created that cool look. But if we can get close to that, you know, as long as it makes sense.
We are going to do a super cool, super easy DIY decoration for our Halloween trick-or-treat trail that's coming up faster than I'm ready for. So we found this box in a free pile. I actually ended up realizing that the free pile was in front of a friend of mine, their house, and she told me that these were actually, I think, used for like floral arrangements, and she said she's had them for years and years and just didn't know what else to do with them. They've kind of been painted on the inside. I thought they were metal. They're a plastic though, which is even better for what we need to do with it. And it's cool because they instantly reminded me of those porcelain lights you see that hang from the top, right? So I instantly thought, oh my gosh, I used a bunch of tea lights last year, kind of Velcroed them onto different things. So I knew exactly what I was going to do with these. So all you need is a box of free cool random stuff that you can make a lamp out of. They can be shaped like this. I've done where there's kind of like the pillars that they look like old candles. You can do all sorts of stuff and change them into lights. Then you just need a pack of the Velcro, the hook and loop fasteners, and these ones have the sticky backs on them. So we've got those. And then I just bought a massive box of the tea lights off of Amazon. I can't remember if I got 50 or 100. They're like a better deal the more you get. So I always get a billion. So we're just going to use those 3 things and then a drill, because we are going to drill a couple holes in the tops of these so that we can hang them in the trees. So it's like a bunch of spooky lamps, and it'll be a cool way to have something kind of different and unique throughout the woods, and also provide a little bit of light from up top, because that's always kind of the hard thing, is getting lights out in the woods, especially from kind of a higher up angle. And we've done all sorts of funky little tricks to try to do that. So we're going to take our hook and loop fasteners. They give you the pack where it's got the soft side and the rough side. And all we're going to do, and I did wipe these down, but I kind of left them a little kind of stained and rustic and dirty like they were, because I think it just kind of gives that spooky vibe. So I'm just going to put one of the parts there. Make sure that my tea light that I'm choosing works. And then I'm gonna make it so that it goes over to where you still have the on and off button. That way you can put it in, take it off, switch it on. And that's literally it, you guys. That's it. And then we're gonna drill some holes in these, meaning my husband's gonna drill some holes in these. And then that way we can just take our hay string and hang this literally anywhere. And let's turn off, we'll turn off the lights and see just how bright even just this one is. Look at that. This gives off awesome light. I noticed the tea lights that I got this year from Amazon were even better than I've ever gotten before. Look at how awesome that is. That is a lot of light. And we've got a whole box of these. So we're going to go ahead and do a bunch of them. And then check it out. When the party's over, you just take it off. Velcro's still on each side. Turn that off. And they're ready. They're good to go. How cool is that? And they'd be easy to switch out. You can paint these all different colors. Like I said, these were actually originally for a floral thing. So if you're looking up kind of like floral dishes or anything like that, you can find something like that. But really anything in this kind of shape, preferably plastic so that you can drill through to make it easier. But even something metal or glass in this shape, you could still wrap something around this and hang it up. But we're going to do a bunch of those. We're going to drill through them. And then we're going to hang them in the woods tomorrow, and I will be back with you then to show you what they look like all hung up. We're getting there. We're just trying to bring so many totes up, all the totes. This is not even all the totes. I still have like 4 more in the barn and 4 more in the house, and then just tons that haven't fit in the totes. It's pretty crazy because we don't even have any animatronics up. Obviously, those go up day of, last thing, animatronics and anything else electrical. And it's just kind of cool how filled in it is already. So this is where it'll start with an animatronic there. We'll have the picture booths here. Those will probably be able to go up the day before because it's supposed to be really great weather. I'm trying to think of ways to maybe close in this archway a little bit so it's more of a kind of hidden surprise. Look how much cool the Aragog situation looks this year. We had orange hay string instead of blue, which already I thought made it look 1,000 times better. And last year, all we had was the massive Aragog that my mother-in-law did, which is awesome. And then we had just the teeny tiny spiders. Well, I started finally grabbing up other size spiders this year, and it really makes such a difference. We've got tons of the candles already hung, some cool potions, the Dementors. We do not have the car up yet, but that will be up in our Harry Potter section. This is going to be a little vampire section here already. Got some cute garland and everything. We have so much more caution tape. This place is going to be filled with caution tape. That's a nice bright way to really let people know where the path is as it gets dark. Obviously right now it's easy to see, but it's not easy once it gets dark. We've got the kids section started, our little circus, our gypsy tent. It's a work in progress, you guys. We're trying. I'm gonna kind of pin this up a little more to have this kind of go in, and then I'm working on just layers inside. We'll have that cool gypsy thing that I made. Out here we got floating hats where the witches are gonna go. Just kind of some random scarecrows that'll be, taken up in the back. This is going to be kind of a zombie apocalypse section. Some more fun here. Into our little pumpkin gourd section. I can't wait till you see our cool pumpkin gourd king. I'm so excited for him. My daughter actually put most of these decorations out. I think she did an awesome job. We just wanted to be super pumpkin-y for the pumpkin king. Coming into the graveyard where we'll have an animatronic here. We're gonna have Jack and Sally over here. I've got a guy in there. That you guys kind of saw at the earlier part of this video, but yeah, it's just getting more and more filled in. We've just been bringing wagon after wagon of totes. Again, I don't even think we have all of them out of the garage yet. This is another one that Noni did. Look how good she did, setting up the plague doctor area. So awesome. Another thing that my mother-in-law made. She is obsessed with Halloween like we are, and she does such a good job creating things. It's just so cool. Yeah, we just kind of made this little area. My husband did up this to not only kind of put more stuff on for Halloween, but also to close off so the kids don't come up close to our ram, because he is the only one that has a little bit of rude attitude. We don't want anyone hurt at the party. We're also going to have caution tape, keeping everyone plenty far away from him as well. But just so it keeps him not stressed, wanting to cause trouble, and so nobody causes trouble with him. But yeah, these totes are still super full. There's so much to go out. Look at, there's so many totes. There's so much stuff, you guys. It's crazy. It's hilarious. I think it's still are already look so much more full than like the very first year that we did this. And last year was epic. I think this one's just gonna be even cooler. All right, so now we're just taking these and we're drilling holes in them. We're gonna do holes right here. See if I can film and do this at the same time. Oops. They are plastic, so it goes through pretty easy. Doesn't really matter what size bit you have, depending on, just kind of go off of what size rope you're gonna use. I haven't decided if I'm gonna use fishing wire to make them look like they're floating, or if I'm going to use any type of rope. We'll see. But we're just gonna do that with each of these. And it's a big enough hole that I kind of have some options on what I can use. So I did decide to go with the hay string to tie these. And I love these. Look at, we got them here and here. That guy's got one back by him. I love it. They're so kooky and spooky and just look like the coolest little lamp. I love that they look like porcelain lamps. They're so neat. I cannot wait. I think we said we had like 15 or 16 of them. I'm gonna light up a few of them this evening and we will come back then and see how good they are. So this is just one of them on by our gypsy tent. There's gonna be a spotlight inside there, but you can see how bright that is. And all it is just that little tea light under there, hanging like a lamp from the tree. I can't wait until all 15 are just glowing on the night of. So we lit up a couple now, and look at how cool it just makes the walk. Nice and spooky, the perfect amount of just extra light coming from up top. It was just a really cool, fun new way to get some lighting higher up that doesn't have to plug in, which is awesome. Can you tell how not straight this ladder is? It does not do it justice. The things we do for Halloween.
Bates Funny Farm Zubu 2025.